What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So Senator Manchin is at it again. We're going to be talking a little bit about, we'll play a clip first, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about Senator Manchin because we have this voting rights bill. We have actually two voting rights bills that they're trying to get through Congress. Okay, they're trying to get it through Congress by January 17th, so that's next week. And we have Senator Manchin again holding things up. Okay, he does not want to move forward with making any changes to the filibuster. Maybe some rule changes, but not getting rid of the filibuster. That's his main thing. He doesn't want to get rid of the filibuster. And not even for this specific voting rights bill. These two voting rights bills, they want to do it with just a majority vote. But as you know, in the Senate right now, with the filibuster, you have to have 60 votes. And so they're not there. They're not there with the voting rights bills. And then I want to talk about Senator Manchin and specifically one of the voting rights bills, because this will probably be shocking to most people when it comes down to it. So we're going to talk about that at the end. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about the polls, because I just posted a poll yesterday and I want to review it and talk a little bit about that. It has something to do with voting rights, and I thought it was pretty interesting, the results. So that's what we're going to discuss today. But first off, on this channel, we talk about financial news and what's going on in Washington, D.C. If that sounds like something interesting to you, please subscribe to the channel and hit that little bell notification. That way you'll get notified anytime we put out a video. And like always, if you see my name and a picture of me in the comment section, make sure you see a check mark next to my name. That check mark signifies that it's me. If you do not see that check mark, it's not me. It's someone trying to impersonate me. Okay, so before we watch this clip, I do want to talk a little bit about the different bills that they're talking about right now, because there's some confusion. People thinking, oh, there's a vote in January, there's a vote in February. What's going on? Will there be a vote in February? I mean, there's a bunch of stuff. I put out a video yesterday talking about stimulus package February, put a question mark. There will be a vote in February. That will be to either continue the resolution when it comes to funding the government. They're going to have to vote on that. Now, you have Congress people right now that are talking about an emergency stimulus. Okay, so that's what they're talking about right now. And it looks like the White House will be formally asking Congress for more money when it comes to the pandemic and emergency funding, basically. And so Speaker Pelosi, just a couple of days ago, she was saying, look, there's an opportunity here to have an emergency stimulus package as well as the continued resolution to fund the government at the same time. And so that's that February 18th deadline. Now we're looking at January 17th. That's another deadline that they're looking to pass a voting rights bill. And so that will obviously be on MLK Day. That's what they're trying to do. They want to do it by January 17th. So we'll have to see if they can do that. So those are the two important dates that we're looking at right now. Okay, so let's go ahead. I want to take a look and a listen to Senator Manchin. So he's walking down the hall, and I know he loves this. Whenever he's walking down the hall, you have these reporters probably lined up waiting to talk to him. And so this is the result. Here we go.
Senator, good morning.
Hey guys, I don't really have anything.
You plan on watching and listening to what the president says today?
Oh, love to. If I'm not in committee meetings, I will be. Yeah.
Anything he can say to change your mind on filibuster and procedure?
Filibuster is what we have, our rules. We need some good rule changes to make the place work better, but getting rid of the filibuster doesn't make it work better.
Okay, so rule changes. So he doesn't want to get rid of the filibuster. That's just, it's not going to happen. But rule changes. So having a talking filibuster, I think that's something that they could do. And they don't need a vote for that, because the thing is, if you're going to get rid of the filibuster, you're going to have a vote. It's going to have to be a majority vote, and you're going to have that 2/3 basically in order for that to pass. You're not going to have Republicans come on board for that. And so in this situation, we're looking at maybe having some rule changes where they do have a talking filibuster. And talking filibuster, all that means is you can filibuster all you want, but you're going to have to stand on the Senate floor and do it. So you're going to have to stand there, read a phone book, read children's stories, whatever you want to do, but you're going to have to try to delay as long as possible. And the reality is these senators will not be able to do that. The Republican senators that are talking about they want to filibuster, they're not going to be able to do that for a very long time. And you just wait. You wait them out, and then when they're done, they're done. When they pass out from exhaustion or whatever happens, they're done, and then you can go ahead and call the vote. So that's originally the way the filibuster was supposed to be run, but now you don't even have to do that anymore. Now all you need to do is say, okay, we didn't get the 60 votes, we're threatening a filibuster, and then you just go ahead and move forward and not go with a bill. They go somewhere else because they know, okay, well, they're threatening the filibuster. But change the rule to make them have to go on the Senate floor and actually talk for 8 10, 12, 16 hours, however long it takes until they get tired, and then you can go ahead and move forward. So we'll have to see if that works, but that's what the talk is right now, that they're going to probably change the rules because Senator Manchin is not going to budge on getting rid of the filibuster, as well as you're going to have Republicans that are not going to go for it.
Any pressure from your constituents back home on that issue?
Well, no, I mean, what they know about the filibuster is basically what Bob Byrd has educated people on over the years. And the filibuster is what makes the Senate hopefully work when it's supposed to work. We need some good rules changes, and we can do that together. But you change the rules with 2/3 of the people that are present. So it's Democrats and Republicans changing the rules to make the place work better.
So, and this is what I didn't know. So he's saying even to change the rules, they're going to need 2/3. So if that's the situation, are they going to be able to do the talking filibuster? That would be interesting to find out.
Getting rid of the filibuster does not make it work better.
Where do things stand with your talks with Senator Collins on the electoral?
We're working on that. That's a bipartisan group. We're working on that. Some good stuff.
So that's another thing they're talking about there. Okay, so that was Senator Manchin. Now, once again, saying, look, we're not getting rid of the filibuster. It's here to stay. Now, the interesting part about this, so you have two voting rights bills, okay? So you have the John Lewis voting rights bill, and that's basically to have oversight. The main thing that they want to focus on here is to have federal oversight when it comes to all the different states. Each state has their own requirements when it comes to voting, but you should have some oversight. The federal government should be looking over to make sure that all the states are doing things that they should be doing. I don't see a problem with that. So the voting rights bill, the John Lewis voting rights bill, that's one part. And then you have the other voting rights bill. And guess who authored the other voting rights bill? Senator Manchin. Okay, so the freedom, I don't even remember the name of it, but the other part of the voting rights bill is Senator Manchin's. And that's because the House passed a version of the voting rights bill. Senator Manchin didn't like it. And so the White House, along with the Speaker, told Senator Manchin, go ahead, create your own bill. If you think you can create a bipartisan bill, let's see what you have. So he put this bill together, this voting rights bill, hoping that he would be able to get bipartisan support. But guess what? He didn't get the bipartisan support. No Republicans wanted to support it. So this other voting rights bill, so you have the other voting rights bill, Senator Manchin's voting rights bill. Now, the best way to get that passed, if he wants to get his own bill passed, is to do something about the filibuster. At least make a carve out just for this voting rights bill, or for the two voting rights bills when it comes to the filibuster. But if he doesn't do anything with the filibuster, you don't have bipartisan support, so these bills will go nowhere. So it's very interesting that Senator Manchin is the author of one of the voting rights bills, and he is not for moving forward with the voting rights bill because he's not for making a carve out when it comes to the filibuster. So it's going to be very interesting to see where they go with this. But as of right now, we're looking at Senator Manchin kind of holding things up again because that's just the way. I don't know. I think he just enjoys doing this. You have to think about this. All the bills that we've been seeing for the last 2 years, Senator Manchin is always the one that reporters are going to and asking what his opinion is and if he's going to move forward. He's always the one that's pausing and that's wanting to hold out and wanting it to be more targeted and this and this and that. I mean, it is just crazy. He has a lot of power. He's yielding a lot of power right now just because he is kind of the one that's on the fence always. I think personally he likes to be that way. I think in West Virginia he knows that his constituents are pretty conservative, so it's kind of hard for him to really jump on board when progressives want to do certain things. But it's I don't know what to say when it comes to Senator Manchin, but he's definitely always on the fence when it comes to any bill that goes through, and this is no exception. Okay, I want to show the poll that I posted yesterday because let's go ahead and take a look because it ties into what we were talking about today. So, do you think the voting rights bill will pass Congress by January 17th? Okay, so that's that important date there. And let's look at, we have 1,000 people participating in the vote. And by the way, I'll post a link in the description. So participate in these polls. And what I plan to do in the future is if I can get some pretty good polls out where we have a large group of people participating in the polls, I plan to write a letter and send it to the president, send it to the Speaker of the House, send it to the majority leader of the Senate, just to let them know, look, there's support for some of this stuff. So if it's stimulus checks, if it's Medicare expansion, if it's Social Security reform, all these different things, these different topics, I want to put something together and then have some statistics that they can look at and say, okay, wow, okay, there is support for this. Okay, so nonetheless, let's go ahead and look at this poll. We have 25% of the people say yes, that they will be able to pass this by January 17th. But a large number, 75%, overwhelming number of people are saying no, they're not going to have this done by January 17th. And so that's what we're looking at when it comes to the voting rights bill and how you guys feel about it. It looks like the vast majority of people saying no, it's just not going to happen. So we're going to have to see. We will see. January 17th is right around the corner, and we'll have to see if they can get this done. They might be working into the weekend, trying to come up with some type of a plan when it comes to a carve out for this filibuster, carve out for the voting rights bill. So making some special accommodations so they can get this passed. So we'll have to see. Now, they were able to do that with the debt ceiling, right? They were able to carve out. So they avoided a filibuster when it came to that. So now we'll have to see if they're able to do something when it comes to the voting rights bill. I want to know what you guys think about all this. What do you think about Senator Manchin always being on the fence? He's never, all these bills that we've seen go through, he's always on the fence. What do you guys think about that? Let me know down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.